Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I think we are now starting to see a split and a divide in how studios go around female empowerment and things like that. And interestingly enough, it actually comes from both Marvel and DC. Both these studios behind those properties and the way they handle, well, not those properties, but yeah, no, the studios behind the properties of Marvel and DC. It goes to show how they're handling using the vehicle of entertainment to kind of discuss social political movements, I guess you could say. Now, obviously, Brie Larson, famously rampant feminist and you know, all about a wrinkle in time not being for old white dudes and all of this kind of nonsense, right? You've got very, very, I guess you could say, ultra left leaning sort of attitudes. And again, I know, you know, we talk about left and right and it really does trigger people, but I guess we could universally agree that, you know, that's probably an ultra left leaning way of looking at it. And then you have the likes of the DC stars. Now, we first started to see this sort of attitude come out actually from Henry Cavill, who famously made some comments about approaching women in bars, basically saying, I'm terrified of doing it because, good God, there's accusations left, right and centre and I don't want to be in the centre of that. That's why chivalry's dead, sort of thing. You know, talking about the whole Me Too movement. And he got in such crap about that. And side note, everyone claims that Henry Cavill is like a dubious, close to pedophile because he was dating someone younger than him. Spoiler alert, ladies and gents. Legal consent age of the UK is 16. It doesn't make it right, but you can't call him a pedo because in the UK it's actually not. But now we're seeing more comments coming around Gal Gadot. So you've got like Brie Larson, massive female powered property. Gal Gadot with Wonder Woman, right? So Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman. And these comments I really like because it near enough echoes the similar sentiment that Henry Cavill has been recently talking about. Henry Cavill with The Witcher saying, you know, toxic fans don't really exist specifically. He's more kind of discussing the fact that everyone, regardless of whether they're toxic or not, has the right to discuss their opinion. Great. And that was a real baited question that he seems to have kind of combated. Now, this is with Entertainment Tonight. And it's kind of like a long list of kind of drivel that this presenter, this interviewer was discussing with Gal Gadot. But we get to the bit here, which I'm going to start, and it will sound a little bit disjointed, but what came before it doesn't really make a lot of sense for the context, because she kind of just kind of brushed over and started discussing female empowerment sort of thing. But her comments are really clever, and goes to show why she's a great ambassador for feminism in movies. And I don't mean the current third wave feminism. It's not what I'm talking about. But I mean genuine feminism in terms of just genuinely just female empowerment, I guess you could say. Because I'm a massive... I despise third wave feminism. I don't think there's any place for it. And I think most women would agree with that, actually. I know most women that watch my channel would agree that there's no place for the rampant misandry disguised as third wave feminism. So let's take a look at this. And then we'll kind of just digest the thoughts on it, shall we?
Well, I mean, and it must have, maybe it brought emotions upon you because here you are suiting up for the second time in this iconic role, and you're a mom of two daughters.
Yeah, that too, for sure, I'm sure. But I gotta tell you, it's not just for the girls. It is for the girls, but we can't reach the place where we're gonna stop talking about female, men, you know, women empowerment, feminism, and all that before we work on both, you know, female and male. Like, we can't just empower women only by focusing on women. We also need to educate the boys and the men. So, you know, a young boy that goes to see in the cinema this amazing woman that does those amazing things, that he can believe a woman could do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it goes both ways.
And you guys have done such a great job.
That's great, is it not? What epic bloody comments that is. Awesome. Hell yes. And again, just like as a brief kind of rundown of what she actually said. But I got to tell you, it's not just for the girls. And again, this goes massively against what the likes of Brie Larson had said about any of the movies, basically, that she's been in recently. Nah, it's just for women. It's all about women. I want to see women do this. I want to see women do that. Blah, 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 blah. Men this, men that. Shut up. I got to tell you, it's not just for the girls. It is for the girls, but we can't reach the place where we are going to stop talking about female and men, as in the comparison between female and men. You know, women empowerment, feminism and all that. And I like the way she just flippantly kind of just like palms off women empowerment and feminism. And I think that indicates to me, anyway, a woman that genuinely just goes, yeah, like obviously we want, you know, women and men to be equal. But the whole women empowerment movement and feminism and that kind of rampant, radicalized focus on it is just nonsense. I think that's what it says to me anyway. Because you don't flippantly just kind of backhand them away like that. If you were of that mass, like radical leaning. And all that before we work on both female and male. Which, like, it makes sense, of course. Like, it's not just about raising women up. It's also about raising men up as well. Like, I was watching this interesting video. And I'm sure most people would actually agree. Out of all of the... out of every kind of group that you can label society in this day and age, it has become so culturally acceptable to be so venomous and hateful towards white dudes and dudes in general. Like, it's insane. It's what? Why has it become such an acceptable movement? Straight white this, straight white that, men do this, men do that, fucking blah blah blah. Like, it's the venomous, snaky hatefulness is so accepted in society. It's utterly baffling. And yeah, like, to me, it's crazy. Like, it's not about... Women can absolutely, you know, have empowerment and things like this. Of course they should, right? But you belittle your own movement when it comes at the cost of pushing men down. You know, to be a true empowerer is not to push other people down to raise yourself up. It's to raise yourself up by raising everyone up along with you. He says, we can't just empower women only by focusing on women. We also need to educate the boys and the men. So a young boy that goes to see this in the cinema, this amazing woman that does those amazing things, that he can believe a woman can do that. You know what I mean? So it goes both ways. Obviously, she is not saying, so a young boy can genuinely believe that Diana Prince, bloody Amazonian, can run around lassoing men up and do you know what I mean? Doing all these fantastical things. That's not what she's saying. I don't think so anyway. I think it's more to the point of like the ingrained... it's not necessarily even ingrained misogyny, because that's not the point. Because that kind of goes against what I'm trying to say here. Because I don't think there is... not in this day and age, you know, I don't think there is ingrained misogyny. Especially when young boys are taught to be so... well, have such feminine traits as is now anyway, and, you know, boys will be boys is not an acceptable term, and all this kind of stuff. But I think what she's getting at is more that, you know, you educate boys and things like that to be, yeah, you know, men and women were on an equal playing field. Not equal with respect to physicalities and things like that, because there's some basic things which nature and biology do not allow. And again, to go against that is just simply to be a moron. Again, it's an inarguable fact. Again, you know, outside of outliers or exogenous hormones. But I really like these comments because I think it goes to show how PR and how studios are tackling the movement as is and the female empowerment movement on a whole. Gal Gadot, you've got the likes of Henry Cavill talking about toxic fans, talking about you know, the Me Too movement on a whole. Just all of these kind of things. And then you've got the likes of Brie Larson. You've got the like all of these other people. You've got the likes of... even Chris Evans has said some, you know, totally distasteful things towards men and things like this. And I think this really does go to show why DC, if they keep this up, right? This is my, like, hot prediction. If you keep this up, DC, and Warner Brothers, the people behind DC, if this is calculated, you're being very, very smart... because this will curry so much favour with everyone. Because it's counter-programming, but it's not. You know, you're not doing strong female movies. You're absolutely still doing strong female movies. But you are counter-programming in the way that you PR spin it. And I think you could absolutely clean up. And I hope you do. Because I'm sick of the agenda. And hopefully this signifies that. So anyway, I thought I'd bring you this quick bit of news. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comment section. Sorry for the change of light and things like this. The outside, we're in the UK, it's winter, it's up and down with light, so you get, you know, huge sunny spells and then boom, massive rain cloud. Can't really do much about it, so obviously it disturbs what you can see on the screen here, and obviously my weird shiny face. But anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do let me know by leaving it a like and sharing it and things like that. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this down below in the comment section, because I know a lot of people are sick to death of Marvel now. And would this help you? Would this help you kind of lean more towards DC than Marvel? Or, you know, do these comments make you more susceptible to watching the film? I'd love to hear it, so drop them down below. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I have a missed age. Take care.